There we go.
Hello everyone and welcome to this meeting of the Harpenden Town Council Planning Committee being held on Tuesday the 15th of March at 7:30 back in the council chamber. Welcome back everyone. On to business. Apologies for absence. I'm assuming we haven't had any given I think everyone is here. Okay, so declarations of interest. Has anyone got any declarations they would like to make? Can't see any. So I would like to just note that on item 7, through my employment, I've been involved in putting in a comment on behalf of my employer. However, I have no interest in the item itself, as in pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and will come in with a fresh mind and have no feedback. So on to item 3, minutes of the meeting of the Planning Committee held on 22nd of February 2022. Now, we're noting these minutes because the town clerk's comments haven't yet been added to it, but are we happy to note those minutes and for me to sign them once the amendment has been made? All in favour?
That's the 22nd of February.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually think I did send my apologies to. I don't take offence.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So,
Jeez. Okay. Thank you.
So we'll make that change before it gets initial and signed along with the town clerk's comment being. Okay. Any other? I think we've voted them through, didn't we? On that. So,
Yep.
Cool. On to item 4, public questions in accordance with standing orders 22 and 23.
None received, Chair.
Perfect. Letters of objection.
None received.
Perfect. On to item 6, applications registered in the weeks ending the 18th, the 25th, and somewhat unbelievably, we're already at the 4th of March. Okay, starting on page 13. 5, 2021, 3629 at 42 Swansea Avenue. Observations on this one?
Okay. So this one, no letters of objection have been received on the St Albans website. Property is sited opposite the grounds of Sir John Bull School with a variety of large dwellings along this section of the road. The proposal for the 2-storey front extensions, each having 2 pitched roofs, which will be positioned either side of a newly erected front porch. The first floor side element of the property is shown to be extended by approximately 1.2 metres to enlarge an existing bedroom, but is still set back far enough from the side boundary in order to have no detrimental impact on the neighbouring property. The rear conservatory is to be replaced with a single-storey rear extension, which will be reduced in length but will extend further along the width of the dwelling house and infill at the side of the property. The application shows a new 3-metre crossover in order to provide a shoe driveway which matches many of the adjacent properties in the road. The proposal has not increased bedroom accommodation, with parking provision remaining sufficient. No trees appear to be affected by the changes either. Consider no objection. So if I just get up the pictures for you. Oh, you haven't got those, have you? Hang on a second. Yeah, to share it. Right. Okay. You can't see that. Oh yes, you can. Right. Yeah, it's working. Right. Okay. So this is the bird's eye view of the property here. And there you can see where the driveway is going to be a horseshoe shape. They've got the other side here, which they're going to extend. And here you can see where they're going to make the alterations to the property. Okay. And you can see here, this is where they're going to do the extensions at the rear, and where they're going to extend at the front of the property and along the side here. And there you can see on the block plan. These are the two-storey extensions along the side. This one's pulled in from the side of the property there, and these are the staggered extensions there, the rear, and they're single story.
Thank you, Mim. Any comments from councillors on this one? Councillor Lowe.
So on the list it says it's 42 sorting. Says that it's 45.
Oh, right, okay. It is 42. That might be just my, that's just an error on there. My part, it should be 42. My apologies.
So it's just that, so we are looking at 42.
Yes, you are looking at 42. Yeah. Sorry.
Any other comments from councillors on this one?
I hope they can afford the heating bill. I think it's roughly that size.
I don't think that's a planning consideration. Yeah. Any other comments from councillors? I can't see any. We have to go with the recommendation. All in favour?
Okay, thank you.
5/2022/0374 0221 don't meet the criteria. So on to 5/2022/0274 at 30 Vale Close. Your observations on this one?
Okay, again, no notice of objection on the St Albans website. All properties in this close are of a similar design. This proposal shows a two-storey side extension running from the front to the rear building lines with a single-storey front extension, the extended front dormer window to form a porch and a study area. First floor rear extension will be set away from the adjoining property in order to avoid any detrimental impact, and also remains within the rear building line. The front and side extensions, which are proposed, are shown to be sited on the plot with sufficient distance from neighbouring property number 32 Bower Close. The application shows an increase in bedroom accommodation from 3 to 4 with sufficient on-site parking provision. Consider, although the committee have no objection in principle, concerns are expressed that the proposed two-storey side extension is not subservient to the original dwelling, and I've put down the relevant policies. So if I just show you, let's pull this up a bit. Right, okay, so this is the bird's eye view again. I always like to give a bird's eye view so you can see what they're like in relation to the neighbouring properties. And there you can see it as it is at the present time. And this is the existing property. And here you can see where they're going to build on, and along here you can see that they're building along the two-storey extension alongside here. But they're not really sort of like putting it in or making it look subservient. It's got quite a long elevation along here, and you can see it goes along the side of the property there.
And that's all two-storey, isn't it?
That's all two-storey, yeah. And this is the block plan. So, I mean, on the planning papers I've had from St Albans in the past, it always says that two-storey extension should be pulled in and be subservient to the original building, etc., etc. So, there you go.
Thank you, Mim. Any comments from councillors on this? Councillor Drake.
Are there any letters of objection from?
No.
Right, okay.
Right, because it does look to me like quite a substantial addition, both to one side and to the next door neighbour on the other side. But if there's
No objection.
no sidelines, I think probably right to simply express concern.
I must admit, when I looked at this one, I thought, a bit like you, John, I felt Yeah, perfect. Well, I wouldn't have allowed it, but what's going to happen at St Albans? I'll let it go through.
I wouldn't expect it to.
Yeah. I'm in two minds.
Councillor.
I was going to say, I suppose if we express concern, it would at least flag up. But they need to look at which they want the subservient, because it is big.
It is. Councillor.
Yeah, I would say I agree with when about the can't be in some level, it's a television when and you could probably drop the feet and half a metre. So they're not being they're not working ethic of it. It's not so bad in bedrooms. But cheap it's top down. It's the cost of but it was
That they're increasing it from 3 to 4 bedrooms.
there's not much extra bedroom. Yeah, we're not in the it's not a new space.
I know what you mean.
Maybe,
Councillor.
I was going to say, maybe it's a sort of compromise, we could drop the bit about committee has no objection in principle.
Okay.
Since I'm not quite sure you have no objection in principle if you're concerned. That it's
Yeah.
not subservient,
Okay.
just express concern that the proposal, the proposed side extension is not subservient.
You have preempted what I was going to suggest. Any other comments from councillors on this one? Can't see any. In that case, with the no objection in principle bit taken out and suitable sort of amendments.
Yeah.
Any all in favour of that?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. On to 5/2022/0332 14 Laycroft Way. Observations on this one then?
Okay, so this is a resubmitted proposal, which shows the following amendments to the previously refused application. And the points are, there's an increase in the ridge height of the property by 1.8 metres to 7.5. The side building line along the boundary of number 12 Laycroft Way has been reduced, and the single storey extension now shows a flat roof with one large flat roof light replacing the previously proposed pitched roof. The first floor extension has been redesigned with its roof line being formed as 3 gables, which reduce in stages as they extend further rearwards, in order to reduce the impact on neighbouring property number 16 Laycroft Avenue. The side window, which was included on the previously submitted application, has now been removed, and all windows on the first floor element face to the rear of the property. The Juliet balcony, which was incorporated into the previous design, has now been replaced with an original balcony complete with a glass balustrade. Consider recommend refusal. Although the proposal appears to have addressed some of the previous reasons for refusal, it still continues to have an overbearing and domineering impact on both neighbouring properties and the street scene by way of its design and convoluted roof form. Concerns are expressed with regards to loss of privacy to neighbouring properties in relation to the proposed balcony at the rear of the property, and loss of amenity to neighbouring property number 12 Laycroft Way regarding the 2-storey rear extension and the 85 degree rule. So I'll just get it up for you. So okay, so this is the property here. There's a view again. It's not very easy to get a street scene for this one, unfortunately. This was the best that I could do. And this one again. So this is the side roof of the property. This was the only angle I could get. And then, so this was the previously proposed plan, and you can see how here it went right up to the boundary line. And it had this roof line going across here. And so now they've decided to do is they've moved it away fractionally here and put a long glass roof, Velux roof in there. And they've stretched this across here to join, and they've staggered the roof lines along here. So basically, that was the previous proposal. And if I go down some more, this is the new proposal, and you can see the staggered roof lines. And again there, from another angle, this is the front of the property, and then here this is the rear, and I think this is the glass balustrade of the balcony, and you can see here these are the rear facing windows, whereas before it had a side one here facing onto this property here. So there again you can see the previous proposal, and where is it? There. That's the side window that they had upstairs, which faced right across onto this property, which they've now removed. And so they put windows facing that way, but of course they put this balcony here.
Because that balcony will still overlook, wouldn't it?
Pardon?
The balcony still overlook.
Well, yeah, I believe it will do. So that's it, basically.
And how about the, you mentioned Wim, the 45-degree angle point? And that
Yes.
bothered me when I looked at the plans.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Did I have a?
There's a 2-story extension that goes right back there.
Yeah, this one here, I was concerned
Yeah.
about this point here, which is the 2-story angle, which came
Yes.
right across here.
Yeah.
I was really concerned about that.
Yeah.
I did look on this one, I couldn't see any letters of objection on this one. See, I did have a look at the
No.
site on this, but the thing that strikes me about it is that given the fact both this committee and the local planning authority didn't like the height of the property, and they've now proposed to increase that height by a further 8 metres.
Yes.
I think probably leaves a little alternative to recommend review of the town, things haven't been met.
It's kind of a convoluted design.
Yeah. There is squeezing a part into a pint side by side.
It's a hell of a lot of glass as well. Won't be.
And no good window.
Yeah. Well, also things like light. You must be pushing up
It's a very good point.
accept levels with that.
So much anecdotal to say about height. You haven't mentioned height in the, perhaps we could somewhere incorporate.
Yeah,
Yes.
height as well.
And-
Yeah.
I mean, with the adjacent property, with all the, is there going to be that lot of potential light pollution? Is that going to be cause a loss of amenity to the adjacent property?
Could well be, yeah.
Yeah, actually,
I thought so.
because the light is going
Yes, of course.
towards their garden because of the
Yes.
fact that the angle is.
1.8 metres, 6 foot, isn't it? It's quite big.
It's a big increase.
Yes.
And is that long, thin window, roof window, is that fixed or open?
It's
Okay.
fixed.
Yeah, well, you've got a real problem trying to clean that, staying on your own.
They've got the balcony.
Yeah, you can't get up there with a ladder, I'll tell you.
I mean, with that balcony, I mean, is it a balcony that's just for, I can't tell, just for show, as it were, or is it actually used as a balcony?
Pretty sure it's one that you open it and go out onto.
So surely they're going to be overlooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. It was-
I actually think this might be worse than the previous one.
I agree, I'm struggling to see anywhere where it's improved against what was the objections.
Yes.
Struggling.
Yeah, I mean, that balcony as well. It's going to be overlooking this side and this side.
Yes.
I'll bring it round, council.
Because I was going to say, looking at it, you're going to look over the property.
Yeah, so this is the balcony. So
Because
you've got overlooking both
You've got
ways.
overlooking both sides. haven't you?
Yeah.
the garden's angled, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
the actual garden.
A lot of glass. Is there a planning policy about light?
That is,
I mean, there is. Yeah, there is. Usually it affects like wildlife and stuff like that.
it's,
Yeah, like it's in the opera house. isn't it?
yes, excuse me, that staggered roof effect is going to be hugely overbearing, isn't it? Out of keeping with the stream scene. Oh, I can't really see, it's got a lot going for it. Planning terms.
I don't see anything going forward.
I'll bring it here. You can see the balcony there.
It's completely out of character with the rest of that road.
Yeah. And I'd have thought, in a practical point of view, the build cost of that.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Pardon?
What's that?
Which bit on the left?
Build cost of that.
On this bit,
Yes,
that is,
And the one area should be restored.
hang on, tell me in a minute if I can have a look. Number 8. Vegetation along the boundary with number 16 to protect the amenity. Vegetation along the boundary to protect the amenity. Yeah.
and the little,
There's any room.
if you look at the roof forms of buildings, the little white stripy things, but they're going to the others, isn't that? Are those windows?
Oh, along here.
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Well, in that case, they're going to be,
Uh,
I'm not quite sure how effective vegetation is going to be, but they are vegetation.
There's a row of poplar trees, probably not.
Yeah, unless the trees, that's
Well, also, there's no vegetation that's obviously going to stop the immunity problems on the actual.
although, I can't see how that, well,
It's got several first floor windows. And it's a front or rear, doesn't it? It's seven levels.
In fact, there's no vegetation at all, and that's a path on this.
if there's a windows, you're still going to overlook.
Yeah, I think we had something in about the height and about the potential light pollution.
Yes, right.
Any others?
Well, and staggered roof form remains overbearing and out of keeping.
Mhm.
Got that.
Convoluted, convoluted design.
Yeah, got that.
Any more for any more?
I think we fairly comprehensively covered it.
We might have, found something else. In that case, with those amendments, are we happy with the recommendation? All in favour?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Unless I've missed one, I think the next one is 5/2022-0367 at number 8 Grove Avenue. Observations on this one?
Okay, so no letters of objection received from St Albans. There was a letter of comment on there, which the person said that they were concerned about it, and then they had a visit from their neighbour who showed them the plans, and they were okay with it now. So this property is sited in a road which is quite narrow in width and has properties of varying designs. Property is a 3-bedroom semi-detached with a garage to the rear, which appears to be inaccessible to modern-day vehicles. The proposal shows a 2-storey side extension, which is similar in design to one approved for its neighbouring property and is shown to be subservient to the original dwelling, leaving a 1 metre distance from the side boundary. The proposed first floor rear element extends 1.6 metres from the rear wall of the property and is shown to be stepped away from the attached neighbouring dwelling in order to protect amenity. This proposal will increase bedroom accommodation from 3 to 4 bedrooms and shows provision of 1 parking space. Consider no objection in principle, however, concerns are expressed with regards to insufficient parking provision within the proposal. So let's go down to, whoops. So here we go. That's the property there. And this was the neighbour here that didn't have any problems with it after they'd looked at it. So there again, you can see that there's not a lot of parking provision in this particular road, I don't think at all.
No, I think one Parklands Road.
Yeah.
Grove Avenue is usually on one side of the road completely.
Yes, one side's usually completely.
Yeah, okay, so this is the property here. And you can see where, I'm not quite sure, they put lots of numbers on it. for some reason. Right, okay. So this is, you can see here, this is the existing house, and this is where they want to put their two-storey side extension. And you can see it is actually subservient to the original dwelling. Let's go down a bit more. And there you can see they've got the rear extension. I think they've got something at the front, did they say? Oh yeah, a loft conversion as well. Oh, here we go. There's some single story at the front. That's the proposed. It looks quite a big version. Okay, so what was it? Construction of a two-storey side and part single, part two-storey rear extensions, loft conversion. Yeah, so they are doing quite a lot, but parking will always be a problem down that road.
How many parking spaces do they have? Sorry.
They only have one. They did have a garage.
But
Not one that they can use, unfortunately. So basically, but another property has already done it and has been given permission for it. Same sort of thing.
if they're not lost parking, I'm a bit more sympathetic.
And of course, all these roads will have parking troubles once everyone has an electric car. Importance for where all the charging points go.
Yeah, that's right.
Cross that bridge. Any comments from councillors on this one? Councillor Lowe.
Thank you. Can I just check, are there enough parking spaces for the house as it is now?
No.
So
That
doesn't make a difference, does
in
it?
effect, there are, in the fact that it's a 3-bedroom property at the moment, and it's got it's got one parking space and a garage.
Yeah.
But if you look at it realistically, they can't use the garage because it's such a slim driveway to get down there, because the garage is at the back at an angle a little bit, and you wouldn't get a normal sized. Most people have like SUVs or something like that. You wouldn't get one of those in there.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it a little bit more realistically. So it depends how you decide to look at it as a committee, really.
Any other comments from councillors? Can't see any. We have to go with the recommendation as set out. All in favour?
Thank you.
Okay. 5/2022/0345 and 0308 don't meet the criteria. So on to 5/2022/0368 at 1 Harding Parade Station Road.
All right.
Observations on this?
Okay. This one's quite straightforward. It's for the alterations to the property on the corner. If I just show you, actually, it's probably a lot easier to show you, because I can't remember what it was called. Barmazita. So basically what they want to do is fill in this area just on the corner with glass panels and a entrance door. They want to square it up. The front element of the property is going to have a fully glazed entrance door with a glazed full-length side window, which will be connected to another large glass window, which continues to the existing pier. And then on the side elevation, a new window is proposed to complete the infill extension. Proposal extends to the current building line and does not impede pedestrian use of the pavement area. Neither does it impact on the street scene or surrounding area. I say consider no objection. So if I just show you the rest of it.
Yes. Actually, could you probably improve the appearance?
Yeah, so this is just this little area here. So this is the glass panel, this is the entrance, and then You see another glass panel, and then along the side, it's going to infill there. It will give them more
Give them
seating
another
capacity.
table or two. won't it?
Yeah, inside. Yeah. So basically, that's what we can do.
It seems perfectly reasonable to me. Any comments from council?
No, of course.
Are we all in favour of the recommendation?
Thank you.
It's a quick one.
Yep.
5/2022/0399 doesn't meet the criteria, so on to 5/2022/0350 at 37 Marquis Lane. Observation on this one?
Thank you. So this is part of a pair of semi-detached bungalows with existing parking for 2 vehicles. The covered area at the side of the property is to be replaced with a new single-storey side extension. Screening will be provided by the existing 5-metre hedge, which is sited along the side boundary and which is stated to be as not affected by the proposal. The proposed single-storey rear extension is shown to be erected and finished in line with the neighbour's building line. The application shows a loft conversion which appears to run the length of the roof, which will serve as an additional 3rd bedroom and will incorporate a Juliet balcony at the rear window. Parking provision is sufficient, remaining at 2 vehicles. Consider no objections, subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. And let's have a quick look. Right, okay. So it's this property here. This is that huge hedge along the side here. So they've already got some existing buildings here. And so this is the parking area along here. This is the existing. I have to look really closely here. Okay, and a nice pretty one here. So basically all they're going to do is, I think they're adding on a little bit here and changing all this area along here. I think that's correct. I can't see it very well.
A single story at the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, single story. And then just going up into the roof. So this is the area they're doing along the roof here. Okay.
Is that going to overlook the neighbour's garden?
Well, it will do, like any loft conversion does. We've had no letters of objection about it.
It's a lot of glass.
It is a lot of glass.
And that's the garden backs onto the Lee Valley Walk, the sort of swan walk. So there's a lot of wildlife there.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So you're worried about light pollution or something?
Well, yeah,
like that?
potentially. And then because there's roof lights as well as the
I mean, that rear, I think, if I'm right in saying that there
Is here.
is here, isn't it? Because this is a single story at the back.
Yeah,
So it's
yes.
on the 2-story element. So it's still.
Even still, it looks.
I know. I'm not saying. I'm just offering it as a potential mitigating factor. I'm not saying that it's still not a concern.
Oops, sorry. Where are we here? So that there is obviously a lot of screening at the back there.
Some of which would have to come out, surely. It must be
Yeah.
going further back than that tree.
Need to
I
go.
wonder if the single structure actually goes further back than what's sort of to the neighbour.
I would suggest we do mention the possibility of pollution.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely do. I'm just-
And that's the Marcus Meadow directly opposite.
Directly opposite,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
And I'd actually
Yeah,
I'll make a
they're
comment on
keeping the
that.
screening here,
Hmm.
so it's
You've got the existing for this. They've got a tree.
existing, no, they haven't got anything about trees or anything.
Is that where the yellow arrow is.
Yeah.
Looks like a tree. That
Yeah,
it doesn't appear to be
yeah, here,
here.
yeah.
So unless the scale of this and this is vastly different,
Yeah,
it looks like a tree that might have to come out.
right, so we could raise that as well then, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Because obviously, even,
Because there's hard standing
Yeah.
here as well.
yeah, so they are going to lose something there, aren't they?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Unless that tree doesn't exist anymore, but
That's the thing.
it'll be whenever the satellite.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, unfortunately. It could be 2020, but it could be not 2020. So, okay.
I mean, the effect of the Juliet balcony is in effect, make it from a bungalow to a school. Yes.
A lot of them have converted, because you can see from when you walk the Lee Valley Walk,
Yes.
a lot of them have converted to, you know, dormers at the top, but mostly it's dormers as opposed to balconies.
Yeah.
And it is, as you say, it's a plate wall of glass.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
So I mean, I prefer a dormer really. But
I don't actually, a plate wall glass actually, it's not to keep the area.
no, not at all.
In fact, it's totally.
Yeah, frankly,
It's the, all that glass isn't totally out of keeping.
Yeah.
The work is it?
It's because it's on the rear, I think. That
Yes.
because
I suppose it's on the rear, but it is.
Yeah.
Probably because they've got the views.
Yeah. And also those are roof lights, aren't they?
Roof lanterns, yeah.
So there's quite a lot of glass there as well. That's, yeah. I think we need to mention the light pollution thing, because even if it's only a subject to.
Yes.
So do you want to change it to express concern then?
We'll probably put that to council. So I think we've got trees, we've got light pollution, we've got
Potential amenity to.
amenity to neighbouring properties. Thank you, Harry. I got lost in my own head then for a moment. Any others that I've missed that we're concerned about?
Out of keeping with the area.
Out of keeping with, not the street scene, is it? There's been wording to that effect.
It's
But
just, yes, well,
Yeah.
it's very out of keeping with what else is
Yeah.
there, which I've wrote on the list, but it's a lot, the area's got a lot of character.
yeah,
Yeah, the character of the local.
It's good, well, this next, I mean, it's not really, but the property next door that it's attached to, is that a part of a building going out the back?
I think looking
Which
at
bit are we talking?
this, I think the neighbour has extended quite far back and they're levelling it up, but leaving a courtyard
Yes, they are.
here, which is, I think, going to be where that arrow is.
Yes, they're leaving a funny little bit in the middle for a courtyard, which is really odd. Sorry.
No accounting for.
Right now.
Not as odd as that one we had where it was a courtyard surrounded
I
by
think
two
we sort of
stories.
covered it by saying rather out of keeping with
Yeah.
the area.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard standing again. It's not even gonna save that tree if it does still exist.
Right.
So we've got those 4 points on
Yep.
trees, amenity, light, and out of keeping.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna suggest from the conversation we've had, we should probably express concern. And I will put that to a vote and see where it takes us. All in favour of express concern? I think that's, yeah. Lovely stuff. 5/2022/0291 does not meet the criteria. So on to 5/2022/0306 at 2 West Common Way. Your observations on this one then? I'm just going to go pull this up.
Okay. Okay, so this dwelling is a locally listed building sited in the Harpenden Conservation Area and sits on the corner of West Common and West Common Way. It has a long high hedgerow which separates it from the adjacent property, which is 75 West Common, and at the rear of the property the garden is large with plenty of tree screening for number 4 West Common Way. A tree indicated on the application has already been given permission for removal. Proposal for the 2-storey front extension will be within the existing building line, and due to the forward positioning of the neighbouring property, 75 West Common will have no detrimental impact. The 2-storey rear extension is to be sited in the centre of the property, therefore posing no risk of loss of amenity, with the 2-storey side elements being proposed with sufficient distance from the side boundary, which faces onto property in West Common Way. Consider no objections, provided that there will be no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties and subject to the appropriate design and use of materials on this locally listed building in the Harpenden Conservation Area. Let's get this one up for you. Right, okay, so this is the property here. And this one is this. I got very confused with this one to start with. This is 75 West Common, and then the rear, I can't show you the, oh yeah, there. That is 4 West Common Way. Okay. And so here it shows all the different areas that they're doing their changes. And so I think the hatch, I've got to look really closely. The hatch markings are the 2-storey, and the single lines are the single storey. But it's set well within its grounds. Okay, this tree here is the one that's been given permission already to be removed. Okay, I can't see that there are any other trees that are going to be affected at all by the changes. Let's go on to this one. So this is the existing property. And again there from the rear. So here we are with the proposed. So they are extending it somewhat. And it is going to be quite substantial, but there is the space to actually build on and without it affecting any other properties. Okay.
So the eyebrow window is being obliterated, is it?
Let's have a look. Where are we? There's an, is that an eyebrow there?
That's still an eyebrow.
Yeah, it looks like an eyebrow there.
If you go back to the existing, then
There.
yeah, it's quite distinctly an
Yeah,
eyebrow.
keeping that, yeah. Okay, so I think it's this end of the property there extending. If you go back to there, oh, sorry, where are we?
Yeah.
So it's this end that they're extending more.
And they're putting in another chimney stack, are they?
Hang on, let's go back. So that's the existing. There's 2, isn't there? Same.
Yeah, I think it's just that one on the end is now in the middle.
Yeah.
Because it says here removal of existing chimney stack. So I'm asking, because it's a
Removal of
locally
existing
listed
chimney
building, you're removing a chimney stack, you are fundamentally
Oh,
altering
hang
the
on.
appearance of the building.
I can't see what that's. I'll have to look at my plans. Sorry, I'm straining to see. So much easier when I've got plans. Right,
It's been taken away.
demolish stack. Yes. So they're taking out the one that's faint on
The one that's famous.
this one. So taking out that one.
Well, it's going to make it unbalanced, isn't it? And it's going to alter the appearance of a listed building.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Mm.
Not happy at all.
Okay.
Yes, it is going to look funny. It is going to look just one
Odd.
chimney, but look very unbalanced, won't it?
Okay.
Yeah. That's the proposed, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's
the one.
from the side. I was trying to see if I can find from the front. No.
On all of them, I think they've got the.
Yeah, if you
Ghost
just
chimney.
try and take it out,
Hmm,
it's a bit odd, doesn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
it might have been not so such an issue, but it's a listed building, locally listed.
I mean, they could in theory take the chimney stack out and put an artificial chimney on the top.
Yes,
You know one.
yes, because,
Yeah.
yes, it's also
Yeah.
do it in appropriate materials,
Yeah,
but to just take it completely out,
yeah.
yes.
Councillor Paul.
The loss of that might be on the locally listed would be a problem. There was one recently where we had a lot of hassle.
Yes.
Land's End Lane.
Yeah,
Is it?
remember,
Because I might have.
somebody got very long, the floor on that one. Got how it ended,
Projected.
was it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, because it is actually making an alteration to a locally listed building.
Yeah. A significant
Not a significant
feature.
feature of a, yes,
And they are changing I think they're keeping the eyebrow window, but they're changing the context of it.
and just, I think, just me, if you take away that second chimney, that roof form is simply going to be unbalanced.
Also, I mean, I'm not that enamored by the additional, I don't know what they're called, pointy bit at the end here where the cursor is.
Yeah.
That they're doing to,
Pointing to the end.
These,
Um, so that third one there that's new on the right, on the far right, that one is new. If you look at the existing,
It's just straight.
yeah,
Yes.
I think it,
Back to the original.
it makes it look a bit unbalanced again.
And you see the existing eyebrow window, if you know the way the roof line goes, it sort of comes down, the tiles sort of come up over the,
Yes,
yeah,
whereas what they're going to do is just have a straight wall.
yes,
I think I'm inclined, Chairman, to reject it.
so am I.
yeah, okay.
Yes, because actually, they're sort of although they technically that's the eyebrow window, and they're actually taking away its appearance
In the context of
in
it.
context by putting in, as you technically call it, the pointy bit.
I'm here for my technical knowledge, that's why I'm in this chair.
Also, the property, the original, has a lovely bay
Yes,
window to the side,
yes,
which is, I think, a lovely feature.
yes,
And that's, by the looks of it, will be gone.
yes. I mean, basically, they're taking away a lot of features that are attractive, which presumably is one reason why it's locally listed.
I'd like to see them anticipating local listed buildings.
Yeah,
Too
but
strong.
in terms of the context, it's- and I think it's coming forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Used some years
Yeah,
ago,
pulling it forward a little
but
bit.
some changes to a Regency building in the town, did you say it's not, yes, it's.
So, things where I'm happy about in this, the chimney stack, the eyebrow window, rather the setting of the eyebrow window. The appearance from the front.
Loss of the, what do you call that, Malvin? Loss of the, what's that window on the side?
Same window.
Lots of key features to the detriment
Yeah,
of a locally listed building,
Yeah.
And that's,
which does not preserve the integrity of its listing status or something on this.
yeah, I think it'd be helpful if we're
And then be in depth to say what they are.
listing some of them
Yes.
so that the planner
Yes.
at St Albans doesn't have to find them.
Yes,
It's also a conservation area, just bear that back.
yes.
Yeah,
It's in a way,
But I mean, basically, they're removing all of the elements to key to its listing.
apart from the sort of Tudor looking
The
bit.
Tudor.
And even that, as I say,
Even
you're
that.
altering the context.
Yes.
You want me to read it out?
If you could, just because I I've lost track.
Basically. Right, okay, so we've got the unbalanced roof form regarding the loss of the chimney stack. We've got the setting of the eyebrow window, which is, I'm not quite sure. I was just basically going to say that it's all wrong. Okay, but in better wording than that, obviously.
No, stick with that.
And the loss of the bay window. Rounding it all up, it's the loss of key features and loss of elements which are key to the listed building status and which would be detrimental to the listed building and the conservation area. Yeah. So I will make it sound a lot better than that, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can get in as well about the alterations of the appearance of the front from the extra pointy bit.
You want me to put
No,
pointy bit
put
in?
pointy bit, whatever the technical term for that is. I've had a very long day.
We start off with basic.
In essence.
Well, that's what.
Well, you can start off just saying the proposal is not in keeping with its.
Yeah.
It's working.
Matt will be checking this for me, won't he?
I will. Right, I think the recommendation will go, well, if the committee agrees with the refusal, all in favour of that recommendation?
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Right. 5/2022/0344 4B Coleswood Road. Your observations on this one then?
Okay, so this is a semi-detached property with one parking space to the front of the property and a double garage to the rear. The rear of the property matches in detail the rear of the neighbouring property. The proposed two-storey side and rear extension is shown to be reduced in height from the original roof line and will be set back from the proposed single-storey side and rear extension. New glazing is to be incorporated into the existing rear extension. Parking remains unchanged and internal alterations on the first and second floors incorporate simply the inclusion of an ensuite. Consider no objection. Right. So this is the property. It's right on the end of this particular block of Coleswood Road. So you can see the corner plot there, and you can see the layout here of the neighbouring property and how it matches there.
Next to Kingcroft, isn't it?
Pardon?
Kingcroft.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is the front of the property. You can see next door have extended a little bit, and this one looks a little bit dated. So they're obviously going to sort of update it and do a few bits and bobs. There you can see the side of the property and rear, and you can see how it matches its neighbour, and this is their double garage. And here you can see their existing and what they intend to do at the side of the property here. Okay, and new windows are going to be put in along here. Okay, and this is the existing property. So you can see at the side here how the layout is at the side and the rear. And here you can see the proposed. Okay, so they're going to put in this rear extension at the back, and off the side of the property they're going to basically change the back of the property here with the glass and everything like that. Put side the Velux windows in there and put some Velux windows in this existing here. Okay, that's it basically. Keep saying basically.
It's the theme of the evening.
Sorry.
Any comments from councillors on this one? So, I mean, it looks fine to me.
We've had no letters of objection from St Albans.
Big windows are a thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
definitely.
Given where this is, the light pollution, I think it's fairly minimal. Cool. Are we happy to go to the recommendation? All in favour?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
5/2022/0423 doesn't meet the criteria, so on to 5/2022/0379 at 26 Park Avenue North.
Okay, so this property is set in the Harpenden Conservation Area, and the proposal submitted following withdrawal of the previous application shows further reductions in both height and width, along with the removal of the previously proposed side dormers. The roof height is now proposed at nearly 9 metres, whereas it was originally presented at 9.8 metres, and the dwelling is now shown at a new reduced width of 15.85 metres, previously 21.5 metres. 2 of the 3 front dormers have also been reduced in size. A comment from Herts Fire Rescue Service was on St Albans website today, which states that the distance from the rear of the fire appliance that would be on site if needed to the furthest point of the dwelling exceeds the 45 metres for the laying of the hose, should it be needed. A letter of objection from number 28 regarding loss of light and overshadowing, and they were concerned about the height of the building, which would be 1.23 metres over their property. But before I had read all that, I had suggested no objection, subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties and subject to no detrimental impact on the surrounding conservation area, as I felt that they had actually made subsequent changes to their withdrawn application, and they had made they'd pulled it in, they'd pulled it down, and they'd gone as far as they could on the plot, and it's quite a big plot anyway, so I didn't have too much of a problem with it.
We didn't have any objection last time.
No, exactly. So
What weight would the comments of the fire service have in terms of, everyone's pick up that, in terms of planning?
Yeah. There's normally a thing like with the sprinkler system,
Yeah.
normally covers it.
Yes.
Yeah.
exactly, they've used that quite a few times, haven't they? We've read that on quite a few applications.
It's in the sprinkler.
Yes, exactly.
Particularly if they're demolishing and rebuilding.
That'll be an alternative.
Yeah,
But interesting.
yeah.
I say it's interesting that twice once we didn't have it, it was withdrawn.
Yeah.
Second time we got it, we're still withdrawn.
Yeah.
Presumably they had lots of objections or something, and they
They might have done, yeah.
decided to withdraw.
So
Just
the,
change their mind.
so this is the existing property, and this is the previous application, which they've withdrawn and so on, and then this is the new application. So they've pulled these areas here. They've made alterations here, whereas that was just straight across. They've pulled these bits in here. And they had side dormers here, which they've taken off as well. You can see there, they're gone. So if you compare that to that, I think it's more of an improvement. So I didn't have a problem with it, but again, I think it fits nicely on the plot. I think they've pulled it back from the front drive.
Yeah.
See what councillors say.
Any comments from councillors on this one? I can't see.
I would say no other than the fact it's the most expensive road in the whole of Nottingham.
Well, yeah, but
That's not relevant. Yeah.
I think the new property, because of that, is in keeping with its position in the town.
Yeah.
I do remember the original one, certainly has been pulled.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
It's, yeah.
It's more a case of the impact on the other properties, really, in some ways.
Yeah. But I think we cover that off with our subject amendment.
It's certainly stretched sideways before.
I think it's worth just highlighting the fire things if we add a, subject to the concerns of the fire. Can't remember what they're called, fire service being addressed. Other than that, are we happy to go with the recommendation as set out? All in favour?
Okay, thank you.
Even if it goes through St Albans, I don't know if I'll get a contractor before 2023 to build it, to be honest. Really.
Okay.
Biggest one there is parked at every corner.
5, 2022, 0234 and 0398 don't meet the criteria required for consideration. So on to 5, 2022, 0444 at number 100 Lower Luton Road. Observations on this one?
Okay, so this property is sited next to Batford Methodist Church. The proposal shows a staggered single-storey side extension facing the church. First element of the extension will have a width of nearly 3 metres, extending in length by approximately 5.9 metres. The second element shows to be pulled in and away from the first element by nearly 2 metres and extends in length by approximately 5.2 metres. There will be no impact on surrounding properties or the street scene, with no loss of trees, and parking remains unchanged. Consider no objection. So, whoops, there we go. There. So there it is. You can see there's the church there. It looks more spacious on here actually, because when you look at the street scene, it doesn't look quite so spacious, to be honest. But there. The parking is going to remain unchanged. It's just a single story, but I thought I'd just flag it up just to be on the safe side. So if you can, it's not very big on your screen, is it there? But you can see there's a staggered single story extension there. So where are we? Oh, here we go. Can you see this bit here? So it's pulled back from the front of the building, so there's still the parking there. So it goes, the first element goes down that way, and then it's pulled in again and goes further down there. Okay. So there's no alteration to bedrooms or anything, it's just purely single story staggered extension.
Any comments from councillors? Can't see any. Happy to go with the recommendation? All in favour?
Okay, thank you.
Lovely stuff. On to 5, 2022, 0470 at 36 Porters Hill.
Okay, so this property is currently an end of terrace 4-bedroom property with parking arrangements for 3 vehicles plus a garage. The proposal shows the division of the property into 2 dwellings, one to be a 3-bedroom dwelling with 2 parking spaces and one a 1-bedroom dwelling with 1 parking space. The existing garage will be altered to living accommodation for the 1-bedroom property, with a floor being raised accordingly, a new window and a new entrance door installed on the front elevation. The front and rear amenity areas are to be separated for each new dwelling and are sufficient to accommodate each property. There are no significant changes to the frontage of the original property which will affect the street scene or any neighbouring properties. The current driveway arrangements allow for changes to parking arrangements due to the access road layout. Refuse and cycle storage provision are included within the application. I checked on the St Albans website today. Hertfordshire Highways have absolutely no problem with this one at all and have offered no objection to it. So consider no objection. So this is the ideal property actually to separate off into 2 properties. So it's got an access road down here, and there you can see this is the property, and there the did actually extend some time ago, and that's why you haven't got it on your history at all. So there you go, there it is, and that's the bit that they want to turn into the 1-bedroomed house. They're basically just going to extend so they can put the parking space here, and then this is the existing. Okay, can you see it all right? It's not easy to see. It's okay. And then this one, there you go, you can see where the properties are split up. So the amenity space for the 1-bedroom property here, they're going to put a fence all the way down there. So amenity space there, amenity space for this property, and then 1 parking space here for this property, and then there's a parking space there and a parking space there for this property, which is sufficient, and the access is ideal. So they don't really need to make many changes at all.
Welcome to see someone building a 1-bedroom property.
Yeah, absolutely.
Long may it continue.
Yeah.
Any comments from councillors on this one? Can't see any. You mind to go with the recommendation? All in favour?
Thank you.
Okay, on to 5/2022/0472 at 56 Whitbury Crescent.
Okay.
Observations on this one.
Yep, the proposal is for a 2.5 times 3.9 metre single-storey side extension to link onto the front of the existing single-storey element which runs along the side of the property. A pitched roof is shown to be added to the proposed converted garage, with the complete proposal to be brought in line with the front building line. Parking has been provided for 2 vehicles in order to accommodate the loss of the garage. The neighbouring property will not be affected due to the distance excuse me, which is created by their own existing single-storey side extensions. Highways have got no objection whatsoever, but there was a letter of objection from number 54, who was concerned about the sloping roof which would overhang his property and had concerns about the rain and snow falling on his roof, and suggested a new design. Excuse me. So I'm gonna have a coughing fit in a minute. Yeah. Excuse me, it's all the
Some water.
that might be worse, it's fine. Will it? Yeah. Right, okay, so this is number 56. And this is the area he's going to change. So this is the area that he just wants to make his alterations to. And this is the existing.
No, I'm not that.
And there you can see there where he's putting his, he's pitching that roof along there. And then he's just extending along the back here as well. So it's quite a small alteration really, because he's just adding on the front to what's already existing along the side here. Okay. And when it comes to snow and rain and so on, there are guttering and there's, you know, there's so ways.
No, I think it's up. Very looking. I think it's the houses that's right very near Rowan Court.
Is he building right up to the boundary?
I'd assume so, looking at the pictures.
Yeah, looks like
If that's the case, then the gutter will overhang the neighbouring property.
It doesn't seem truly overhangs. You can't pay.
it doesn't look like it overhangs right there because it's good.
You know, we asked Dave if it overhangs. It's a civil matter.
I'm well aware of that. Don't worry.
Well, your footprint is inside your
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that
No, I'm well aware of that.
Without, yeah, I mean, I assume it's to where that is at the moment.
Yeah.
I assume that's the boundary.
Yeah.
So it probably would slightly overhang.
So that's part of the party wall thing, isn't it, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure we should compromise.
No, because it's not a planning.
No.
As long as that objection letter has gone in, which it has, just back it up.
Mm.
Don't be seem to be too clever, do we?
I think I've established with my pointy bit thing tonight, we're not going for too clever.
No danger of that.
I've never been accused of being too clever. Any other comments from councillors on this one? I don't see any. We mind to go the recommendation? All in favour?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 5/2022/0269 does not meet the criteria, so on to 5/2022/0382 at Tesco Express, 103 to 105 Lower Luton Road. Observations on this one?
So we've had a previous application for this one, which was for the modular building for storage purposes and so on for Tesco's, which was put along the boundary of the River Lee. And it was, I believe it was turned down. Yeah, it was refused, yeah. Okay, so this new application shows a change to the previous proposal in that the single-storey modular extension is now suggested to be sited at the rear of the property rather than the side. This will take away any significant impact on the structural failure of the flood wall of the River Lee, which was previously causing concern. The proposed positioning of the extension will be screened by substantial trees, therefore preventing any detrimental impact on the neighbouring block of flats. Consider no objection, provided that there would be no detrimental impact on the street scene and that suitable root protection measures are put in place to protect trees along the boundary of the property. Where are we? So, keeping up.
Sorry.
Right. Okay. So this is Tesco's, and it was originally decided that they wanted to put it here, but now they've decided they want to accommodate it here. So this is a block of flats here, and this is the boundary of the trees. And there you can see there's just the front of Tesco's. So this is the place that they want to put it. This is existing, and they want to put it here. So there is shrubbery and so on along here at the moment, and there's this border of trees along here. And this is the existing Tesco's, and this is from the side or from the rear. You can see what it would look like. This is from the side view. There, you can see what this little building would look like. Modular building.
Has anybody in the flat subjected?
I haven't heard anything. No, there's no letters of rejection at all. So no.
But it will be screened, won't it?
Yes, it will be screened, but they are massive trees there. Yeah.
Not exactly the most architecturally significant building ever.
No.
Apparently.
So is it because, so there's a building to the riverside of it?
Well, here.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
there
that's
is already.
So that's why when we, because previously we mentioned the flooding policy. So
Yeah.
it won't affect, so there's already building there.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It won't.
I think the reason that they had the issue was because it was previously it was going to be right along the side of the river, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
That's fine. Okay.
Any other comments from councillors on this one?
Those driven out to the store, isn't it?
Ends up in the river now, but any other comments from councillors? Are we mind to go the recommendation? All in favour? Okay, 5/2022/0447 and 0452 don't meet the criteria. On to 5/2022/04 55 at 18 Greenway. What observations on this one?
Okay, so following refusal of the previous application, this new application has been submitted, which shows further proposals. The single-storey front extension has been reduced in depth from 6.8 metres to 5.5. There appears to be an increase in bedroom accommodation from 4 to 5, with the new inclusion of an additional bed sit on the ground floor. The eaves height on the rear single-storey extension have been reduced and altered to show a cat slide effect roof. However, the first floor element does not appear to have been altered and therefore still shows that it will create a detrimental impact on the occupiers of number 16 Greenway. Consider and recommend refusal. It appears that the previous reasons for refusal may not have been fully addressed. No letters of objection, however, have been received. Okay, so this is the property there, and the front of the property. So this is the previous application. And I'll just have a quick look. Right, so the front extension has been altered. So here, this is along here, it was been altered in depth. I had to search for that, to be fair. But this is the area here where they've decided they're going to add an additional bedroom. So that's the additional bedroom there. And where else? Oh yeah, and here, this is where they're doing the cat slide roof here. But I didn't feel that they'd addressed the issues that it had previously been refused for, because it's got too many bedrooms for starters. Okay.
Much interest. Where it first for bed sit, it does mean a bedroom, or is it a bed sit?
Hang on, let's go back.
Yes, it's slightly strange.
It's not one room, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see on my screen. I don't know why I'm struggling. Right. So it's got a bed. It's got an ensuite with it. But that's it. So it's a bedroom and ensuite, but they call it a bed set.
Bed sit means something completely different.
Well, yeah, because normally it's like with a lounge or cooking facilities or something.
But it's usually pretty good at one room.
Yeah, if you're living accommodation, yeah.
Yes. It's just slightly odd terminology.
It's on the front as well, isn't it?
It is on the front, yeah. So they got like it's a large room. In it.
I'm just wondering, given it, the hall doesn't start here, whether they're intending to.
Yeah, they might be separating it or going to do something else with it at some point.
They haven't done it yet.
No, they haven't done it yet.
Just wondering whether they call it a bed sit.
Maybe it's designed as a sort of integral flat for a family member or something within the house.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so it's pull forward at the front and
Or sending them a letter, I don't think we can ask.
Just like you might.
Okay, any comments from council? Any other?
Being pointed out, I'm sorry, but if why you're not happy with the cat side, however, the first floor element does not appear to be altered. It's in your answer, isn't it? Just trying to see why. Before and after.
say that again. Sorry.
About the last couple of lines of your observation. First floor element does not appear to be altered, therefore, yeah.
The first floor element.
And I think the SADC wording for the refusal applies here again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my reaction.
Made some alterations, but they haven't made an alteration for fundamental reasons for refusal.
Don't wait too much, but I'll go with what you've seen.
Those extensions, obviously.
I think let's, unless anyone,
Yeah, it was the overbearing bit that I was concerned about. They hadn't addressed what St Albans were picking up on, and that's what I was concerned about.
Yeah.
Because I think that
It's a nice safe answer.
pardon?
It's a nice safe answer.
any more for any more? Can't see any. So we have to go with the recommendation. All in favour?
Thank you.
Right, and now 5/2022-0458, 0478, 0339, 0427, 0515 do not meet the criteria for consideration by this committee. The quickest page I've ever done with this. Okay, on to item 7, the London Luton Airport proposed extension statutory consultation report and documents. Sticking to the previous page.
Page 25.
Okay, so we're being asked to consider the statutory consultation documents and compose a formal response for submission. I believe, when I looked at the papers, there is a suggested response. Is
Yes. Yes.
cool. You want to say anything on this one?
Well, basically, oh, I've said it again, sorry. Um, Right, okay, so you've had the report which has been put into your pack, which should give you the details of what's happening or what they're planning to do at the Luton airport. And really what the committee is being asked is, based on the fact that the Luton airport is going to change from 18 million passengers up to 32 over the, taking us up to 2043, how it's going to affect Harpenden in the way of traffic, noise, pollution, etc., how you feel about it, how you want to respond to it, whether you want to basically go with the previous response that we had along those lines, and make your decision based on that, or if you have other sort of ideas and concerns. I've given you some details of something that Harpenden Sky have basically got concerns about as well, and it's basically for you to just come up with whatever you feel should be sent through to St Albans, to Luton.
The biggest objection I've got, which isn't talked about, it's sort of inferred, but it's not there. So the major point, and that is the road and rail infrastructure is just not done enough to.
Yes.
You're virtually going to have gridlock. There's gridlock already in that, both the rail and the motorway system. You're going to have to turn that M1 into a 6-lane highway and have 4 or 6 lines of for trains, etc. It is, until that, this is a classic British problem. We don't do the infrastructure before we do the development. So often that happens.
And consistently over all the years of thinking back and forward, the Luton Airport itself and Luton Borough Council have basically said, well, except the little bit that's in Luton isn't our problem. And they consistently refuse to be remotely interested in what happens anywhere, except basically the approach road to the airport.
Yeah. Until you get the road and rail infrastructure sorted out, you can't even consider anything.
Yes. Unfortunately, they always ignore that, but we can say it. Plus the fact, my continual objection, sorry, it's my continual objection.
Should go to government this time. shouldn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, it's going for a development consent order, so that will go to Secretary of
There
State.
won't be a few councils that turned up to pass the last lot.
yes, but continual objection that Luton, the planning authority, the main beneficiary,
I did
which is
read it.
outrageous.
What's the closing date, December?
April.
April the 4th, did I say?
4th of April.
April, April.
4th of April, yeah.
Is this a suggested from what, in like a draft, what we've already read?
I think this was from Hartman and
Is this from
Scott.
Bucking
That's from
Skies?
Harvard,
No,
yeah.
this isn't draft from Carl.
No, there is, there's a previous letter, in your pack,
Pages 43 and 44. is the
Yeah.
previous one.
which is the previous one, and if you want something, say something based around that.
Yeah, because I was thinking the previous one is more, I think, more comprehensive than what
Yes.
the Skies.
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
yes,
So I thought if this is what we'd written today, I'd say, well, I'd prefer what Carl
Yes.
wrote a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think I think, yes,
Basically said, do we prove it all or any of this?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah, you
think-
want to,
Yeah, I think if we take the previous thing that we drafted as a guide and then I decide if we want to add things in or take stuff out,
Add anything in from that?
yeah,
If they'll do that,
or anything else
I'll
we
just
think.
go through that, so,
Yes.
position, won't
yes,
Yes,
we? We don't want to-
Yes.
I would also suggest that we're using Carol's text as a draft and having the transport network system in that first point.
yes.
Mm.
Thank you, yes,
And just be talking, I say, can't please. It's not man enough now, much of the day.
On the transport network, would you mention, or we've mentioned the M1 and Junction 10, you mentioned the high, like the 1081 or the Lower Luton Road, because, if for example, that's more relevant to Hartland.
Yes.
And
yes.
if the M1 is gridlocked, you might find people come off it.
Well, they do, because the 1081 is the designated. alternative
Yeah,
route.
so you
Yes.
see it in the evening, if the
Yes.
M1's shut, you can tell the M1's shut,
Yeah.
there's gridlock out here,
That's why we can never get a road closure for more than 20 minutes.
is that right?
Yes.
So-
Yes,
So I just mentioned the A1081 and the Lower Luton Road as well, but it's the Junction 10. One, that might be a good thing to think.
It is one way still, it's two turbines, isn't it?
I think so.
There's
Yes.
a hell of a lot of taxiways.
Yeah.
If you look at the picture. Basically, it's still one way.
So one way, yeah.
Yes. Or extended slightly.
Yeah.
But they can't extend it a lot because it goes off the drop, isn't it? But it's still one way. It's Gatwick too.
Gatwick, one of things.
One, yeah,
yeah.
you can do capacity. Oh, it was, yeah.
But I'm also skeptical about the numbers, to be honest. But
Yes.
that's-
yes. Particularly, don't take into account, you've got Heathrow, you've got Gatwick, you've got Stansted, and you've got Luton. The other thing, I think perhaps it doesn't mention, airspace, any airspace issues particularly with Stansted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The redesign as well of the airspaces.
That's
All the size is static.
Yes, that's-
They're working on that under the
yes.
name of a master plan. It's called a master plan,
Yeah.
where they're rearranging all the
They're
airspace and
rearranging it.
everything like that, yeah.
I always love master plans being put together by government.
Yeah.
And if this ever does see the light of day, no disrespect to some of our younger members here, most of us will be dead before it's ever sees the light of day.
Yes, oh, I'm not cheering now. Poor Richard, too old to get sacked for his life. You've got to
The
be
way Britain does infrastructure and all the rest, 2050 might be an appropriate
Yes.
date to put in your diary for the opening.
I'd hope to still be around, but
I'll be over 100 blocks to be 100 blocks to be around. Quite normal. You pretty much be by then, yes.
So I assume Carl will be doing a final brief.
yeah, I would think.
I
don't think it'll make much difference. There'll be so many other objections put in that.
Yes, I think,
Well,
yes, I think when on the air traffic noise, it's probably worth mentioning, there haven't been much sign so far of any
No.
reduced noise capacity.
mm,
And we're going to have to find staff to man the border stations. It took me 40 minutes 2 weeks ago to even just come through the automatic.
Yes. They're going to have to find ways to manage traffic actually at the airport as well. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a sort of the M1 and the 1081 as a giant car park, because it's already, I think that's something else I can mention, is that the system for managing traffic within the airport itself and picking up and dropping off is not fit for purpose.
as I understand it, a large part of their argument against this is the Luton Dart. I can't see that that's incredibly effective. So they built this little train.
The monorail to the Parkway station.
That's going to be expanded,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Well, it's not going to be expanded enough to make any real difference, is it?
That's just from the station, isn't it?
yes.
Yes,
The train system isn't man enough to.
but
That's
that's
the next
pointless
point.
because, but it's pointless because the train system can't cope with it.
Yeah,
Well, you have to go to Terminal 1 and 2. won't you?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
And
it's
this
going
is-
to go
yes.
around.
And is that freight thing, the train still going to happen in
Park Street.
Park Street? Is that still going to happen?
To the best of my knowledge, it's still on the table. I
So
don't
that's
think
going to
it's-
cause major problems as well,
It's like Parkway.
possibly over with the line, isn't it?
I think that's a separate letter.
But that's been around for years and
Yes, no, but I'm just saying, if it did happen, it would impact. Yes, but it would have a knock-on impact.
Well, welfare depot.
Yes, it would have a knock-on
It's gone very
impact.
quiet, isn't it?
Yes, it's gone very quiet. It would have an impact
I
on
mean, we've already
on
signed
the
off with
train.
council an awful lot of additions.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just saying, if it goes ahead, that will have potentially an impact on the Thames Link line, won't it?
Yes,
Also,
yes, it would.
I mean, basically, all the plans, they fundamentally ignore any asking for your views and quietly ignore them.
Yeah.
And just say, oh, well, transport's not our problem, chums.
Well, when, as has been said, this is going to the Secretary of State, so it might be worth considering drafting something to them as well. Just
Yes.
to put a bit of oomph.
Yes.
let's hope it's a sensible Secretary of State and not the last one who was in charge of planning.
It'll be Gove, I think, if he hasn't been shuffled by then.
Okay, so have we got any other points you want to?
Any more that we'd like to add to the previous?
I think the principal objections of the plans that fundamentally different. The objections remain principally the same.
Yes.
Anyone got his presentation?
Not personally.
It was here, wasn't it? Well,
It was Eric Morecambe, yeah.
yeah,
Yes, no more consulting.
There have been a few, I think.
this one I didn't.
No.
Put it up. But the impression is inevitable.
Well, basically, I think it's going to be materially different from any other plan. Anything that they do.
You know what I mean? It's
basically.
Is there anything in there that we haven't covered?
Well, it depends what
And
you
it's
want to
basically
say.
the same, it'll be all right on the night mentality.
See if you can read my writing.
Just make sure anything we put in is quite sort of specific to Harpen though, because otherwise,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, Harpen Skies have sort of mentioned things about, you know, certain passenger demand, which is fine, but I kind of feel like on behalf of like the town council, it's not really, yeah, it's a personal concern that I have, and I think we all have, but you know, finances of Luton Borough Council or something isn't really,
It's not.
it's not a problem for the town council.
No,
No, traffic is a big issue because it really will have a knock-on effect on Harpenden.
yes,
The transport especially and specifically High Street.
And pollution, obviously.
and always.
Yeah, noise.
That we're going to have the extra 15,000 houses in the borough by 2035.
Well, that's going to.
That's going to speed up all the roads.
PCT is, yes.
Well, they're doing it in phases, aren't they? So I think the phase did I? So, let me have a look.
I skimmed that bit.
You did skim that bit, didn't you? Yeah, so in 2019, they were talking about doing the getting the 18 million to 19 million passengers. They got permission for the 19 million, but it hasn't been totally approved by the secretary for the what's it called, levelling up.
Michael Gove.
Oh, is that him? Is it?
Yeah,
Okay. And then
I can't remember what his job title is.
Okay.
It's Michael.
okay, and then
Good luck, I think.
in the phase one is 2027 when they want to raise it to 21.5 million passengers. Phase two is 2039 when they're going to take it up to 27, and then the final phase is phase three when it's 2043, which is 32 million, and that's when we'll be dead.
I'll be
I might
100.
not be. I'll be pretty anxious, but I might not be there.
Quite worried about these life expectancy.
I'll be in my 90s, but I'm still living.
Okay, so yeah, so that then phases, and that's how obviously it will sort of have a knock-on effect on Harpenden and so on and so forth.
Air pollution will get us all, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's where they're talking about this zero pollution and everything else, and so on and so forth. How's that going to affect people, and with all the increasing in planes and so on and so forth?
From a practical point of view, the realistic is how they think they're going to get people to the airport.
Mm. Yeah.
Because actually infrastructure cannot cope with getting that number of people. Oh, it's got, they're going to, quite apart from the effect on Harpenden, just the practical fact is they're not going to be able to get the people to the
I'm
airport.
assuming that Joe Public is rich enough to be able to afford all these foreign holidays, and I don't think he will.
Have the airfares gone up because of the?
Well, it depends. I must admit that it's a pretty expensive prices recently. I'll tell you what really has gone up, car hire. And I was hire cars and it's virtually doubled.
Can't imagine the price of aircraft fuels. doing
Well,
well at the
don't forget,
moment.
many of these airlines, they tend to buy forward, so.
Well, even so,
Yes.
we're talking about 2040. This isn't
Yeah.
immediate.
Price, not, the price I didn't know.
I don't think I tell you, fancy flying in an aircraft fueled with a hydrogen type fuel.
The history of that is not good, is it?
No.
Not good.
I'm not-
Yes, that was exactly the problem.
Exactly the problem.
I'm not sure that the Zeppelin is likely to make a comeback anytime soon.
Well, they did try and get to, was it
Airships
Alan
not
wasn't
so
it, tried to
good,
get, up in Cardington, didn't they? They tried to get an airship going up there again.
Yeah, so they have mentioned like, because they're putting in a new fuel line, which will go from just outside their terminal, and it will go to their a special station on the actual site, so it can go direct to the fueling up their aircraft and so on. So they're going to be putting in a special fuel line for that. And they did, I'm pretty sure that I read in the report somewhere about hydrogen was mentioned as well. So
So
pretty sure.
something about, yes.
I think, well, let's assume that when they're using hydrogen fuel, they're using one that's unlikely to blow up near.
Yeah,
Yes, certainly hope so. But I'm all worried, they're going to stick it on and store it at the ground, I'm worried about.
there was one other
So that
thing.
goes around, comes around, really, isn't it?
There was one other thing they said that regarding surface access, i.e. roads, that through a phased approach, they want to encourage public transport, walking and cycling, more sustainable. Well,
Yeah.
Through a phase.
I'm going to be very pleased to walk from Harpenden to 2 km to the airport.
Through a phased approach, I'd quite like to win the lottery, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to happen.
I'm worried about the key that's walking up the
You are,
council.
you are.
Believe you me, I ain't walking
Well,
back
I
to the
think
airport.
somebody needs to put in on that on the transport, so notice that Facebook. Will they therefore be providing however many billions is going to be necessary to put in a sustainable public transport system to get people to the airport? how they think it's going to happen.
Can we enjoy seeing those cycleways?
The little elves are going to come out at night and do it.
Anyway, did we need to vote on?
So what are you voting on and
So
I got to
I think-
report back?
we're composing a formal response. I think we haven't quite composed one, but we have some suggestions for one, if that makes sense. Do we need to be more sort of composite? That's not the word I mean. We need to compose it more, or are you happy to take these back to Carl as a?
Well, I'm not quite sure what I'm taking back just yet, so
Right,
you need
so-
to be a bit more concise, please.
Okay. So we've got, we wanted the transport point to be the primary point, and to beef it up a bit and mention, Harry, which roads was it
Well, it was
specifically?
so the A1081 and then
The
the low Luton Road.
You got that, yeah.
Okay, and beyond that, I think we were happy with the previous submission, just with a bit
Yeah,
more.
traffic
I think
noise.
we want, yeah, I was going to say, going back to transport, I think we need to make the point much more strongly that the rail infrastructure is wholly incapable.
Yeah, make it a separate point rather than.
Making a separate point that the rail infrastructure simply does not exist
Yeah.
to carry.
You're
That
going to
increase
have
in
two lines eventually, don't you? Go to
Yes.
town.
I think when they were building the electrification north
Bedford and Alton, they couldn't actually stop. If you remember, they actually reduced the number of trains stopping at Harpenden in the rush hour.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the capacity.
Yes,
We've got lots of
but I
emails
think
about
we need to say the rail capacity simply does not
So don't
exist.
forget, going through the two-lane bit, they put on some trains going to the likes of Cambridge and what was in Royston.
Yeah.
Coming up from the south, so they were trying to push more
Yeah.
trains to
Through
other
that
places,
tunnel,
yes.
Yeah.
So we've got trains, we've got roads,
Got air traffic noise.
not making planes, trains and all.
Impractical solutions on how to cut down the traffic. Basically, who was it you, Rose, when he talked about the
Yeah.
walking, cycling and, you know.
Who's going
Bit of a
to
joke.
walk?
How are you going to cycle with your suitcase to the airport?
I mean, that's just plain silly.
That's just silly. That's.
Did you want to say anything about pollution?
I think-
Or is that all in? Are you going with the previous
Yeah.
submission that was,
Yeah.
yeah, and just adding
Just
in,
enhance it and-
enhancing these extra,
And change the,
There's only in there that you can add to beef up what we wrote before. What Carl was.
what we should.
No, I'm not convinced about including point 4. I don't think, as Harry said, I think. Yeah, I think it's not our job to tell them how to run an airport.
No.
I mean, it's certainly a valid thing to put in.
Yeah.
I think as a town council,
Yeah.
it's not.
For a personal submission.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, on road safety, I would just leave this in context because I think to go into the hypothetical of
Yeah.
families on the move, passengers in panic mode, it doesn't actually lend gravitas to a submission.
And I think personally, the air pollution thing is covered off quite nicely in here.
Yes.
Carl would like to, zhuzh it up a bit,
yeah.
add some extra weight in, that would be fine, but, I'm very happy for the town clerk to lead on those bits. Anything else that we haven't mentioned in these last few minutes that we mentioned in the?
Obviously, that response will go to Carl, and Carl will send it to all councillors.
Yeah.
Not just us.
Yeah, we're composing a formal response, we're not agreeing it, so I assume that it will either go to mayors and chairs or it will go to full council.
It won't be time to go to full council, there won't be a full council.
In that case, I assume. that
Yes,
we'll-
It'll probably be the mayor to agree it and then they'll
Well,
share it on the council.
Unless it can be written enough to, because there's a full council meeting on Monday.
Yeah, we've got a motion for council.
Sure, but it's technically on the agenda, is it? So that-
No, but you can, I think it can be brought in as
Yeah.
as an additional item.
Yeah.
There's no reason why it shouldn't be brought in. Ready to.
It's not part of it.
Yeah, it depends if you're ready, because you can always bring it in as an urgent item.
Mhm.
Anything else that we can think of?
Carbon bit, all right, the sort of, wonder if there's anything since COP26 or something.
Well, I think, so I said on that, I think without more technical knowledge, I think I'm happy with what's in here, but if Carl would like to strengthen that with anything new that he's aware of.
I mean, we went sort of local air quality, because that's sort of, there's a thing about carbon neutral by 2050, which is more sort of national thing, and then we mentioned local air quality, and there was something about takeoffs.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think we need to, do we need to vote? I think it's fine. In that case, on to. We haven't had any appeals.
No.
That's a quick item. We're noting the preservation of tree works, noting the conservation area tree works and technical applications. We note the list of weekly St Albans District Council decisions. And the date of the next meeting will be on Tuesday, the 5th of April 2022, in the chamber again at 7:30. And the next meeting of St Albans District Council Planning Development Control Committee North will be on Monday, the 11th of April. And I can't believe we're nearly at April. Bring the meeting to a close at whatever time it is. 9:20 something.
The next meeting's on New Tax Year's Eve.
Is it?
Goody, goody.
Lovely. My favourite of the holidays.
Your taxes are going to go up.
On, when you do the comment wording
Yeah.
about the preamble, you could say something along the lines, the proposal does not respect the locally listed building, or something along those lines. The elements, yeah, something like that, if you say does not respect, I think
Yeah.
sticks to booting quite nicely.
Yeah, I can use that. Can I nick that?
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
if there's somewhere I can get that shredded as well.
Yeah, leave it with me.
There was a point where it built up so much that I had about 60 of those that I used to find a way of disposing of.
Not a good idea. Right.
I had a whole shelf.
He does not understand. You can't just, I think that's completely